It's hot, really hot, and we're living in a box. I don't like to complain about good weather, but if you are struggling in this heat wave, here are some tips to cool things down and make van life a little bit more bearable when the weather gets warm. Hi, I'm Kat and welcome to Wandering Bird. On this channel we share tips and tricks for motorhome and campervan owners to help you enjoy van life and make the most of your time on the road. And honestly, when the weather is this warm, that can be a challenge. So let's get straight into some tips on how to keep cool when the weather is warm. First things first, try and do what we haven't done here, which is to park in the shade. If you can find a shady spot or a pitch on a campsite to park up overnight, naturally the trees will help keep things a little bit cooler. Next, try and open at least 2 hatches in the roof, or if you haven't got those, at least a couple of windows on opposite side of the vans to help create some airflow. If you just open one, you might get a little bit of a breeze, but it's the suction between the two that actually helps keep air moving, which will in turn help the interior feel a little bit cooler. Also, take a tip out the Europeans book and close all your blinds or put up some sort of a sunscreen, especially on the front windows. But wherever you've got a window or a hatch, try and keep the blind completely covered. Yes, it makes the interior of the van really, really dark, but it does help keep things a little bit cooler. Especially if the silver side on the other side, so it's reflective, and that really will help keep your van cooler. Next, try and keep your indoor cooking to a minimum. Whether you use a grill or a hob or the oven, it's really going to heat up the small space inside your van. So when it's warm like this, either eat cool food so that it doesn't require any cooking, or have a barbecue and eat outside. Remember that not every campsite allows barbecues, and if they do, most of the time they have to be off the floor. So you're going to need some sort of stand or fire pit or something to levitate the barbecue, unless you've got a proper one with legs already. But that is a way better way of making sure that you don't have to cook anything in the van, which will in turn heat everything up. On the same lines as well, remember that your lights and other electrical appliances also give off their own heat. Even if it's really minimal, it can really add. When you're having a hot day and the van's already warm, it can really add to how hot everything is. Especially as well your water heater, and obviously you wouldn't have the heating on, but if you put your water heater on, that in turn is going to add some more heat to the space. So have it on. We put ours on for about half an hour, and that's it. Hopefully that way it won't add too much to the heat inside the van. When you are camping, try and put your awning out on the sunniest side. I know most people naturally do that anyway, but try and think about which way you're parking up your van so that the awning can go on the side that the sun's going to be on the most. That will help protect. I've done it here. This side of the motorhome, the sun's on it all day. What time are we on now? Yeah, it's kind of almost midday. The sun's over here. The awning is protecting this side of the van from getting too overheated. Admittedly, we're not in any shade, so that the roof's getting a lot of a beating right now. But this whole side is protected from the awning, so you might want to change the way that you're parking your van to get the awning on the sunny side. But wait, while a plane goes overhead. If you haven't already chosen your holiday destination, try and head either to mountains, which may or may not be difficult at the moment, but we always try and head in the summer as high as we can because our dog can't handle the heat very well, bless him. So try and head either up or try and head near water. Now, some places near water, Scotland being the first one that comes to mind, have midges in the summer. So the closer you get to a water source, the more likely there are midges or mosquitoes or other horrible flying, biting insects, which will make your holiday a bit miserable. So it is a toss-up, but if you can park near water, it will generally feel cooler. So, and we've got another break. Water also has the added advantage that either you can swim in it or your dog can swim in it, and you can all cool off. So yeah, water's a really good one to park next to if you can manage it. Okay, let's talk about inside the van. We've spoken about cooking and electrical things and trying to keep that heat to a minimum. But there are a couple of things you can do to actively cool down the space. Now, we've used a couple of them. We've had a portable AC unit. Why am I trying to film a video whilst I'm under a flight path for a busy airport? What has possessed me to do this? This is nuts. Absolutely not. I'm literally getting about 10 words in before the next plane comes. And to make matters worse, the guy over there is cutting the hedges. This is such a bad idea. We can do this. We can do this. I promise. Maybe we can't do this. Okay, I'm going to talk quick before the next one comes. So let's talk about what you can do inside your van to actively cool down the space, not just add to it, but to actually cool it down. There are 3 things that you can do. You can either get a proper AC unit, air conditioning unit fitted, You can get a portable air conditioning unit or portable cooling box, which is one we've got, or you can just get some portable fans, which is also what we've got. On the subject of AC units, we've never had a van that's got a proper AC fitted unit in it. I know a lot of vans do. One thing you've got to bear in mind, which is the main reason we haven't had one fitted, is that the payload, they're quite heavy, so they do take a chunk out of your payload. If you don't understand payload, I'll leave a link here so that you can understand that. But they do add a big chunk to a payload. However, as with most electronic and technical things, they are all the time getting smaller, getting lighter, and getting more practical. So keep your eye on the market, and if you see one that fits and works for you, then by all means, if you're going to spend a lot of time in hot countries, then it might well be worth an investment for you. For us, we picked up a portable air conditioning unit at a show, about 2 years ago, called a Transcool, and it's a little box, and we did a review on it. I never actually published because, we film lots of videos and I never get around to editing and publishing them. So I never actually put this one up. I'm going to add this onto the end of this video, the review of the box. Frustratingly, we weren't supposed to be in the UK now. We were only supposed to come back for a couple of weeks and then head back to France, and then the quarantine rules changed and it all just never worked out. So we're still here. We don't have it with us. We really wish we had it with us because it's a good unit, as you'll see on the review. But yeah, we don't have it with us. So what we're making do with, rather than buying another one, which is ridiculous, we don't need two, we've got portable fans, 12-volt fans. And the best way that we found to use those in the van is we have 2 hatches open and we put them in the hatches. One is, I believe, sucking out, one's blowing in cold air. And we literally put the fly net across the hatch, the fan sits at the top, and like I say, one is set to blow, one is set to suck, and it just creates this airflow through the van. It's not like you can stand there and be in some sort of L'Oreal advert, but you can definitely feel that it is cooler, and you can stand right underneath the one that's blowing in. We put that by the cooker, which is the main hatch as we come in, and that way you could just stand there and just cool yourself down. When I was on a bike track day the other day, I was stood there for about 5 minutes just letting it cool me down. It really, really works, and the dog goes to sleep under that all the time. And then the one that sucks is in the back, so that creates that airflow. But often we can have both of them blowing in as well, and it's just quite nice to sit there and get that airflow in your face. A couple more tips whilst I'm thinking about it. If you are living in a van or spending time in a van when it's this hot, walk the dogs really, really early in the day, way earlier than you might think, because it heats up so freaking quickly. And don't leave a dog unattended in the van. They heat up just like a car do, and it's dangerous for them. So it's too hot for them to be left in vans at the moment. For yourself, spend as much time outside as you can, but make sure you've got adequate sun protection on, and also drink lots. Drink way more than you would think is possible because it is just so warm. You don't want to give yourself heat stroke or sunstroke or anything nasty like that. We also have baby reusable ice cubes, which we keep in the freezer, along with his cooling jacket and some ice cream, and those are brilliant because they just help cool down your drinks, which in turn makes you feel a bit cooler. So those are our tips for living in a van or spending time in a van when it is this hot. If you are spending some time in a van this summer or planning your next adventure, you may find either of these videos helpful. If you are new to our channel and you'd like more tips for motorhoming or camper van life, then by all means hit subscribe, and I'll see you on the next video. Thanks for watching.